guys, next story up. So this is an unfortunate story. It depends on if you believe it or not. I will tell you what happened, and then you can make your own decisions from that. So Tekashi 6ix9ine, mama named him Daniel Hernandez. Apparently Tekashi was at the LA Fitness gym somewhere in Florida. Okay, like I just told you, it goes down in Florida, child, and not always in a good way. I guess depending on who you ask on the story. But anyway, no, you guys, I don't like to see people get beat down. However, anyway, Tekashi 6ix9ine supposedly was at an LA Fitness that he frequents quite often. They say he goes there all the time and never has any problems with any of the patrons there. On this particular day, I guess this was yesterday or the day before, today is Thursday, even though y'all won't get this till Saturday, but he was there by himself without his security. Okay, this is the first flag that made me just kind of side-eye the story. But anyway, he was there without a security, and he was in the sauna. And apparently he was accosted by some gentlemen there that were upset with him and the things that he said in the past. And finally had caught up with him, I guess, sans security. So they continued to, badger him until he was up, and I guess feeling like something was going to happen. And next thing you know, these men, or a part of the group of men that were around him, started to jump him. They were kicking him, they were hitting him, he was on the floor, it was stomping him, and they basically said that they didn't like the things that he had said and did in the past, considered him a snitch, and this was the payback for them, for him and the shit that he's done in the past. And at first, I'll tell you, when I first saw the video, I didn't really look at it in depth, okay? And I was like, well, damn, I don't know. It's probably not the best thing to admit, but I didn't feel any kind of way about it. I just actually, honestly, quite frankly, was surprised that it took this long for anybody to catch up with him, okay? But that's where the problem lies in this story. One, this man being there without at least one person to secure him was the first question, okay? Why is he there by himself? Especially knowing that he is still a figure that people don't really like out there, all right? Two, really, Tekashi 6ix9ine in the grand scheme of things is like irrelevant now. People don't really care about him. Every now and then he'll rear his ugly head, and only if you're following him then you see that kind of stuff. But you don't really see him on the blogs and all this. I'm sure he still puts out music, but it ain't like it was before. He definitely doesn't have that notoriety that he had before, okay? So that was the other thing. When you're a person that is like a glutton for fame and loves the attention, whether it's positive or negative, and then all of a sudden that shit shuts down, how do I get my name back out there? And then an added bonus of people feeling sorry for me. Maybe I should get somebody to jump me, beat my ass, videotape it, because, that's what we doing these days. We all want to, as grown-ass men, these ain't kids, these are grown-ass men, that are actually videotaping this, faces out on the open, saying all kind of shit. Yeah. Take my picture, take the video, take my video. I'm gonna be famous now. I'm gonna be famous. Who does that? Ain't nobody trying to bring attention to themselves. Like, you actually put this video out there as grown men for people to see. That doesn't make any sense. Why are you even, why would you record yourself doing some shit like that and then putting it out there, knowing this day and age of social media and that the police watch that and all? That is proof that you did it. So that right there, I was just like, no, for real, street niggas really gonna allow themselves to get caught on video like that and then be putting it out there. I mean, it does happen, but for the most part, really, if they really was trying to fuck with him, they wouldn't have done that. And so then that's when I started to be like, let me look at this fucking video a little closer. So I got in close. Y'all gonna see my sweat. Baby, I got close. I need Jada to fill in my lashes. Jada's in Vegas for her birthday. But yeah, I got in close. I was looking at that. One of those stomps in particular when Tekashi was balled up on the floor with his legs up, the guy stumped his foot, and I'm positive that foot did not make any contact with Tekashi. Okay, now yeah, the other ones where they was kicking them and all of that and punching at them, I think that they did do that, but it didn't look like it was really connecting. You know how sometimes you can throw a punch but kind of draw it back so it don't have like the impact. Like, I feel like that's what it was, and then he had some kind of pill of shit to bust his, you know, the blood and put it on his mouth and all of that. I just don't believe that he really was jumped. Okay, they said that he was rushed to the hospital and had to be treated at the hospital. You know, I guess that would be our major proof. Like, if there was some hospital records that showed, you know, that he did come, that he had some contusions, or some bruises, or maybe it was because they said that he had injury to his face, his jaw, his ribs, and his back. Okay, so I mean, I guess that would be the proof. But I'm telling you, he is not above, you know, putting himself out there like that to garner sympathy and also get his name out there on the blogs for however 15 minutes of fame it takes, just so that he can get that attention again, you know. So as of right now, I am choosing to not believe it, and until we get more proof. And you guys, I'm telling you, I don't care one way or the other. Okay, so but if we do get proof that this really did indeed happen, what I will say is these niggas was stupid to put themselves out there on video like that. You know, real menaces move in silence and don't have that shit on video. So yeah, I'm not believing it. You guys let me know, do you think that he actually got beat up in the LA Fitness gym bathroom? You guys let me know. All right, you guys, next story up. So they say that your boy Matt Barnes has been called into question, that he has not been paying his child support to his former ex-wife, Gloria Govan. You guys remember they were married for a short period, and I mean a short period. They were together for a long time, but they were married only for a short period of time, and then they got a divorce, okay? And then, of course, we know of all of the other antics that Gloria and Matt have been a part of. You know, most notably Matt going over there to beat Derek Fisher's ass when the kids called him and told him that Derek was on some shit. Okay, not shit like drugs or like he was on one that day, you know. And damn it, Matt was not fixing to play that, so supposedly he drove a few hours and had to get over there so he can commence to whooping ass, jumping over fucking fences and knocking down sliding glass doors and shit. Yeah, Matt is with the shits too. But those two boys, you know, they have twin boys together, a Carter and an Isaiah, who look dead on Matt. I'm talking about dead on their daddy. Cute kids. They're teens now. You know, him and Gloria had these boys, and apparently he was paying $20,000 in child support all the way up till 2018. I think that was around the time that he stopped playing professional basketball. And, you know, of course, his income was cut. So he went to the court and petitioned them and asked them to cut his child support to $7,500, which they did grant. They said a couple of years later, he tried to get it cut some more. I'm not sure if they did cut it or not, but somewhere along the line, I guess Matt was just like, I ain't got it. Okay, so he stopped paying it. So now we have racked up a bill of $133,976.54 that he owes to his ex-wife, Gloria Govan. And, you know, I don't know how child support works. Like, do they put a lien on his shit? Do they attack his finances or his bank accounts, or, you know, do they just go in there and take it, or, you know, how does this work? All of my real rock star lawyers out there, y'all can let me know, or anybody really, honestly, who has been, you know, who's been a part of this whole child support system and tries to figure out how that shit go. That's one thing, thank God, because life could have turned out so totally different. But that's one thing that I'm thankful that I haven't had to deal with. Okay, even if Mr. decided to walk out the damn door tomorrow. Okay, these kids already grown. They got their own damn money, and I ain't got to worry about it. So, but anyway, yeah, that's what's happening there. Quite a big child support bill. what is he doing? I mean, he has his retirement. He has his podcast. I mean, he's still out there. Yeah, maybe they can get a payment plan down, okay? And he can get back on the right side of that. But yeah, that's what's happening with Matt. All right, you guys, next story up. So this is actually an update on the story that I did last week. You guys, I was all celebratory and telling you guys how Spice, okay, mama named her Grace, whatever her last name was. I told y'all last week. But anyway, remember I was telling y'all last week that she was pregnant, and I put the picture up and showed how pretty she looked with her pregnancy shoot. Y'all, turns out that that's not what it was. Okay, she came out and said that that was just a symbol of the rebirth that she feels now that she's come out on the other side of her hernia scare. Remember, I was telling you guys in that video, I was just like, now this would have, you know, she was fine just a few months ago, and we found out that she was down in the DR or wherever she was trying to get that hernia situation corrected. Well, now she expounds on the story and tells us how, yes, actually, she did go down there. She had to have the hernia corrected. You know, she tells the whole explanation, something about her appendix or her intestines was growing through the knot of the hernia, and it was cutting off blood supply, and it was, you know, it ruptured. I think her intestines ruptured or something, and then she had sepsis, and so it was a lot of shit that was going on, okay? And that she feels that she actually did die, but was brought back, you know, by the grace of God. And you know, now she feels that now that she's feeling better and stronger, that it's a rebirth of Spice. And so that was I was like, girl, you did that shit all wrong. I mean, you know what? Praise God for healing you and everything. But what you needed to do was be in the womb like Tyrese was on Baby Boy. Okay, that's how we would have known when you was talking about rebirth. You know, you could have put a little blue in there so we, you know, had your hair, you know, waving in the water, you know, but, you know, curled up. And then when you felt like it was time to come out of the womb, you could have screamed like, wah! You know, like Tyrese did. Then we would have understood what the symbolism is. You're fucking around with no damn baby belly. Bitch, I thought you was pregnant. No, she's not pregnant. She already has her kids. She's not having any more. It's just a rebirth of Spice, okay? With all that shit that was going on with her stomach and her hernia and appendix and the intestines and all that, I'm gonna need her to stop jumping the fuck off of 40-foot high speaker boxes. All right? I'm gonna need you to not be slamming yourself up against these men's. I'm gonna need you to maybe tone it down some. It's gonna be hard because she does give a power-packed performance. But, you know, we getting older, and sometimes we don't like to admit that we just don't need to do shit the same way that we used to. Okay? And I am a witness to that, because shit, it be shit fucked up every day. I turn around and the kids be like, what's wrong with you now? And I am not a hypochondriac. I'm not. I be pushing through. But it's every day is something, y'all. That's all I got to say. But, you know, I'm happy to hear that Spice is good. And, you know, that she's on the road of recovery and feeling great about life. So that's what the update was on that. Next story. All right, you guys, this actually is a rest in peace to a couple of people. First, I want to talk about Nipsey from Martin. Okay, mama named him Sean Lampkin. You guys remember him. He was the bartender who owned the bar that they used to frequent on Martin. Okay. He died, you guys. And I know everybody is like, damn, he died. He was young. Yes, he was only 54 years old. And they're saying that he's died from unknown causes in his sleep last Wednesday, I believe they said. Now, I remember seeing him, you know, he's been in different movies and everything. And then when I was looking at the list of movies that he's in, it was clear that Martin was keeping him under his wing even after the show went off. So he was in Bad Boys, Big Mama's House, and Life. Okay, so yes, like I said, Martin made sure that he kept his boy working. And yeah, you guys, he died. 54 years old. What the hell is going on? People are dying younger and younger. If it's not unknown causes, then it's natural causes, which I'm not really okay with those, neither one of those, you know, because it's never natural for somebody young to me to die. Another person who's died this past week was Lance Reddick. Okay, and you guys remember him from you guys remember him as from The Wire. I never ever watched The Wire, so I don't remember. I knew that he was on that show, but I didn't watch the show, so I don't have any kind of like emotional tie to his character. But you know, he was in the John Wick movies, and we've seen him. We've seen Lance Reddick on different movies and different TV shows. I think he was on Law and Order and all of that. And yeah, he passed recently, 60 years old. And they're saying natural causes. And I mean, it's just not natural to die at 60. 60 to me means that I only got 8 years left. Like, I don't want to die at 60. That's not natural to me for him to die. Now, they don't have to tell us, you know, they don't have to tell us why a person died. That's private. If the family wants to keep that private, that's fine. But don't give us the natural causes thing, you guys. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, you know, especially, Mr. Reddick, you know, all the celebrities talk about how sweet and a kind and a wonderful person. Actually, Wendell Price, who was also on, not Price, Pierce, that was also on The Wire. You guys remember him, you know, the heavyset guy from also Get on the Bus, the annoying one on Get on the Bus, the one who was up there when Kanye said that George Bush don't like black people. He said that the epitome of class, a sudden, unexpected, sharp, painful grief for our artistic family, and unimaginable suffering for his personal family and loved ones. Godspeed, my friend. You made your mark here. Okay, and if you would ask all of the people in the entertainment world that's worked with him or that know him, I'm sure they will agree. But yeah, you guys, just sad and strange that these people are just dying so young. I mean, we live longer generally, but you're starting to hear 50s and 60s natural causes. Anyway, you guys, Mr. Reddick, Lance Reddick, is survived by his wife, Stephanie Reddick, and Reddick, because I know you guys are going to correct me, and his children, Yvonne Nicole Reddick and Christopher Reddick. Like I said, he was 60 years old. And Sean was 54 years old. Rest in peace to the two of them. All right, you guys, next story up. So all of the hoopla behind the Amazon Prime show, Swarm. Okay, you guys know that is Donald Glover's new produced show on Amazon Prime. It was it 8 episodes? I believe it was either 8 or 10. I want to say, whatever it was, I was hoping that it would be more. I'm hoping that they get a second season. But this is the super clever horror story about stan culture. They closely used the identity and likeness of Beyonce, or should I say her story, with her having the beehive and the extreme stans, and you know, her being like this larger than life personality that just has people that are just kind of feel like she's like the second coming of Christ. You know, those who are those type of stans. That's what this movie is about. There's a girl in the show. I don't want to give spoilers, but it might come out. So if you haven't seen this and you want to see it, then you might want to click off here. I'll give you a little time. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna try not to give any spoilers, but what I'm saying is the show is about this girl who is like an extreme fan of this girl named Naija, who is, like I said, very much like Beyonce. They have taken a lot of the story and the things that we've heard about the stans of Beyonce and made it into this movie. If we had a girl that was psychologically ill, okay, or should I say having like a for real psychotic episode, and is lack of better, okay, she's going around killing people, anybody that has anything cross to say about Naija. All right. And she's played by Dominique Fishback, who is so good at this. I only remembered her from Project, what was the name of that? Project Pulse or something like that. I can't even remember the name of the movie, but it was a Netflix movie that we actually watched in the Roxy Reads book club. If you guys remember, if you're in the book club, remember a movie night, we watched it. It was with Jamie Foxx, and remember she was the young girl. I kept on looking at her like, I know who she is, but I couldn't place the face. But then I went and looked it up, and I was like, yes, that's her when she was younger. But anyway, she plays the girl Dre in Swarm, the TV show, where, yeah, she is like this extreme stan. And, yeah, did an excellent job in it. Everybody is talking about Emmy nominations. She 100% deserves to be nominated. If she don't get nominated in that, I'm gonna have a problem. Yes, there are some people who feel a certain way about it because everybody, you know, there are people who just tired of, you know, Beyonce. And so they don't even want to give something like this a chance. Other people feel like it's so weird and off that it's hard for them to even connect to the characters and everything. And all I can say to that is, like, it did take me off guard. Like the first episode, I was just like, oh, I didn't know we was jumping into it like this so quickly. But if you continue on, if you can just bang through, by the time you get to the third, fourth episode, you're gonna be locked in. The shit is good. It's well acted. It has comedy. You know, it has its parts of being comedy, and it's very, very dark, and some parts of it is creepy and even gory, and but yeah, good stuff. And we've got people in there that also did a great job. I thought Billie Eilish was great in it. I thought Paris Jackson, you know, who kind of played on her own life and real life. You know, she's clearly a white girl in the movie, in the show, but she's saying that she's half black, half white. and it's just a part when she says that she's half, and Dre looks at her and is just like, half what? Which has been like, you know, that's just been like the ongoing joke with Michael Jackson's kids or whatever. But Paris Jackson does a great job. Even the girls that play the strippers, hilarious. And Chloe Bailey and Damson, of course, the opening scene is them having sex, and that made a big splash. Everybody was talking about that. Even though you can't really see anything, you can just kind of, you know, they let your imagination take part. You can see Damson, of course, but all you can see is really Chloe's arch, her butt up in the air, and him like hitting her from behind or whatever. But the movie is, the show is really, really good. It's clever. It kind of has a documentary style to it. The way they shot it is very much Donald Glover. If you watched Atlanta, then you would recognize the style that they shot this show in. Shout out to Malia Obama, who was one of the writers. Remember, I told you guys a long time ago, so don't act like you just found this out, because I told you guys on top of the blogs a while back that Malia Obama had been pulled into Donald Glover's writing team, and that she was working on writing something with the team. They didn't say back then what they were working on, but now I knew immediately. I was like, I know she's a part of this project. I know she is. And she was. And they talked about how, you know, cool she is, and how even she came in with some of the craziest, like, way out ideas. You know, that's the kind of creativity that you want. Somebody that's young, somebody that is, you know, aware of that type of culture. Even she could possibly know about that from her father. You know, I'm sure Barack Obama, even with a lot of people who don't like him, probably has his people that love him. So even, you know, she could probably relate on some level, obviously not to the level that it is in the show. But anyway, yeah, she was on the team, and just well done. And shout out to the director and the creator of the show. Oh, what is her name? I gotta tell you guys. Give me 1 second. Janine Neighbors. Shout out to her. Wonderful job. This show, to me, it deserves all of the Emmy nods that it should get, and I hope that it gets a second season. I would give my what I will say is, I believe that there are parts in the show where Dre is remembering things probably differently than how it really happened. I think that her brain just makes her believe a different ending for some things than what really happened. So yeah, great stuff. She was on Tamron Hall recently, and Tamron, remember I told you could tell when she don't like somebody, you can tell when she really loves somebody too. She loved Dominique, and it was so funny when she was doing the interview, she said that the show was not about Beyonce and her fans. I was just like, girl, a lie, don't care who tell it. They even say at the beginning that any resemblance to anybody today is intentional. Like, they are saying that. They never say her name, obviously, but it's so closely related. But she's going to say, I said, girl, you going to stop lying in our faces. Here's a spoiler, but between the girl getting bit, Nyjah getting bit by Dre. You guys remember when Beyonce got bit, and remember it was going around that Sanaa Lathan was the person that did it. You know, and I'm not sure if that really was true, if Sanaa Lathan was the person that did that, but that was what the rumor was, that, you know, she had got so swept away and that she was probably either inebriated or you know, might have been partaking, that she got carried away. So that definitely was a direct take from when Beyonce got bit. And then, of course, the jumping on the stage, and you know, the same when Beyonce was out here performing with Jay-Z when they were on the Run tour. The tour that Nyjah was on was called Running Scared, but on the Run tour here in Atlanta, remember when the guy jumped up on the stage and all that? So, like, yes, it's clear that it's about Beyonce. It's not about Beyonce and her fans. It's not even about Nyjah, really. It's really about the culture, the stan culture, when a person is just way obsessed with, like, their favorite artist. Okay, so yeah, you know, if you were thinking about watching it, I would say it is definitely worth watching. And if you can just get past what we're normally used to when we watch like horror movies and things, and just kind of get into the story and get into the psychosis of this girl who is just, you know, it is good. And then it has like a little switch up, like episode 6 or 7. So it's like, so it's just really, I think, cleverly done. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. Have you guys watched Swarm? You guys will have to let me know what you thought. All right, you guys, next story up. So our favorite auntie, Shirley Ralph, was on, she's on a promotional tour. She has a book that's coming out called Diva 2.0, 12 Life Lessons from Me for You. Okay. And it's like a self-help book, if you will, about, you know, Shirley Ralph just talking about her times coming up in the entertainment world and challenges she's faced and whatnots. Okay. Life lessons, like she said. She was on not on a podcast. She was on Angela Yee show. I feel like I have talked about Angela Yee every week since the damn girl got her own show. Honey, Angela Yee is doing the damn thing out there, okay? She is definitely having her name out there. She got the right guest out there. It's every week it's something Angela Yee. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. She was on her show, Way Up with Angela Yee, and she expressed that there was a famous TV judge earlier in her career. She was working on a show with this famous TV judge, and he sexually assaulted her. Okay, now she quickly said that no, it is not Judge Mathis. Okay, so already scratch him out. I was trying to see in that interview if she said that the judge was black or white. I don't think that she ever made that distinction, but what she said was she was working on this show with this TV judge, and out the blue, the man just grabbed her and kissed her, stuck his nasty ass tongue down her throat, she said, and she said he did it in front of everybody. She was so appalled that she wanted to report it. I guess she was in New Orleans or something. She had a friend, the mayor of New Orleans at the time when it happened. You know, she told that mayor what happened, and the mayor was just like, okay, we can make this shit happen. We can get them arrested and sexually assault charges and all of that. She was ready to move forward, but then the network or the producers of that show asked her not to say anything because they didn't want the bad publicity for the show and for this judge and all of that. And she was just dumbfounded that they were more supportive of the damn person that assaulted her than her feelings and, you know, what she went through. But yet and still she didn't never report it. Okay. Well, now, of course, she is the Shirley Ralph. And so she's letting it be known. And, you know, people have been deducing, people are saying, oh, definitely Judge Joe Brown. You know, like I said, she didn't say that the person was black or white. There's been other judges as well. I mean, I guess if we wanted to do a deep dive, a motherfucker can just go see what court show she was on back in the day. And then they could figure out the judge that she was speaking of. But so far, nobody's come out with that information. But she said that just so happened, luck would have it, as luck would have it, she was at a function later on in life, and she was seated at a table with that same guy, the judge. And even though she didn't speak up to him back then, she took it upon herself now to confront him and tell him how he made her feel when he did that. And she said, do you know that everybody at the table was mad at me for bringing it up? Was like, why would you even bring that up at dinner? And she felt victimized all over again because, damn, I'm the one that got kissed when I didn't ask for it. I'm the one that was assaulted, and yet and still you guys are sitting here supporting him. So, you know, all this to say, even though she's not still saying who the person is, you know, folks feel like they have a pretty good idea who it is, but she's saying now that people need to speak up. You know, you are afraid to speak up. She was afraid to speak up back in the day, but don't let people take that power from you. And really today, in today's day and age, is different, even though it is still hard for the victim. People still don't believe the victim, whether you wait years to tell or, you know, tell it right when it happens. It's always hard on the victim. So, but you know, Auntie Cheryl said that she is just putting that story out there for people that have faced these same kind of challenges and just didn't know what to do. She said, tell on that ass. Okay. So, yeah. Who do you guys think it could be? I mean, remember, we've had other judges, white judges and everything. So I'm just like, what was the white judge's name on People's Court? They've had a couple. I can't think of the newer one even taking a chance to try it. But that old one, y'all remember what I'm talking about? He, you know, he could also have the nerve to think he could do something like that too. You know how old white good old boys from back in the day feel like they just had license over everybody. So that could be it. But anyway, just wanted to let y'all know she's got a book, Diva 2.0, 12 life lessons from me for you. Y'all can go on and read up, and I'm sure she's got many other anecdotes that's happened that she hopes will help you in your life. So that's that on that. Next story. All right, you guys. So this is a quick story. Megan James has a podcast. What's the name of her podcast? I don't know what the name of her podcast is, because at first I wasn't even going to put the story in here, so I didn't really get the information. But she was on her podcast, and she had YungJoc there. And they posted, of course, a little clip of her podcast where she asked him, how was he able to sustain a 20-year career off of one hit? I was like, no, you did not just say that about YungJoc. Mama named him JCL Robinson. I should know that, as much as his women on that show has said his name. JCL. Anyway, I was just like, now, I mean, YungJoc ain't got no huge catalog of music, but we not gonna play like motherfuckers wasn't at the club, you know, meeting me at the trap and it's going down like, He had Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise on MTV doing that shit on stage, like, and he was up there with him. So yeah, YungJoc, even though that is his biggest hit, I mean, we're not gonna play like YungJoc ain't had other music too. Yeah, a lot of them were features, but I know you see. That shit used to be the jam. But I also think that that music is regional. Like, we used to hear that here. I was here in Atlanta when, you know, YungJoc was really blowing up the way that he was. So I'm more familiar with it. I don't know if maybe my people in LA are as familiar with all of his other, you know, all of his songs like we are here down in Atlanta. Just like how in Atlanta they not they don't hear all of the West Coast raps, rappers that they just play locally out there. When I go to LA, I'd be like, who is this? What is this? Like, hearing all those songs they don't play over here. So that might be part of it. But that question was below the belt, and he even came out afterwards and just said, like, he's used to being shaded. But and it was obvious the girl is young, so she might not be real familiar with her music, but that was a rude ass question. She basically called him a one-hit wonder. And we're not even gonna how we forget that he was on Love and Hip Hop. Okay, that's the reason why we know Megan James, she was on Basketball Wives. So it's just like, you gonna discredit that he was on a reality show, a big reality show. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta was one of the bigger ones. I mean, it was probably bigger than at New York at one point, So how you gonna act like he did all that just off of them couple of songs that he had? And then, Joc is I'm sure you guys don't know this all over the US, but he has a very successful radio show here in Atlanta as well. He's had it for a couple of years and he's does well, and it is his show. Morning Drive, the dream time that everybody wants to have, So Joc is out there, and I mean, Joc has gotten on my nerves. He's rubbed me the wrong way plenty of times, but we still ain't gonna be smirchified a nigga's accomplishments. When she said that, I was like, oh damn, and I saw people in the comments talking about how he was broke and how he was driving as a Lyft and Uber, and I was like, if you guys don't know by now that Joc does things for shits and giggles, he does things for attention. Remember when he was wearing his hair straight and then he was coloring it green and he was doing all that? He does all that stuff for attention. He's not doing that because he has to. Okay, and I think the whole Lyft and Uber thing was really because he was about to start a business, a same type of driving company like Lyft and Uber, and he was just trying to get the feel of it and seeing how it works and all of that. I don't think people knew that at the time, but yeah, don't do him. Don't do JC. I was like, damn, girl. So now, of course, he's saying that he's not going to go on these podcasts anymore unless it's somebody that he really fucks with. Because he hadn't even planned on doing that podcast. He was somewhere doing something with another person, and then they asked him to sit with her, and he decided to. And then that's how the bitch did. Don't do YungJoc. Y'all know y'all was revving the motorcycle like everybody else. Alright, you guys, next story up. So, it seems that our boy Ronald Isley has pulled a Johnny Gill and Ralph Tresvant on the Isley brothers. The same like how Johnny and Ralph went and trademarked New Edition, and they're the ones that make the money off of the name. Well, it seems that Ronald Isley has done the same to his very own brother. Apparently, Ronald Isley, Rudolph Isley, and they had another brother, what was his name? O'Kelly Isley. The three of them created the Isley brothers back in the 50s, like 1954, something like that. O'Kelly ended up dying in 1986. All right. So that left Rudolph and Ronald, who owned the name of the group. Rudolph ended up pulling out of the group in the late 80s because he had health issues, and also he was grieving his brother, and I think it just became too much. So he pulled out of it physically in the group. However, he's always maintained that he's been a part of the group, the business side of it, promoting the group and getting deals and different things for the group. So he's always been involved. So from the late 80s up until 2022, they owned the groups, together equally. They would split whatever profits that was made from the group down the middle. Well, that in 2022, Ronald Isley went to do the trademark again. I guess you have to renew it after some time. And when he went in as the sole proprietor. Like, he was the only one that owned the group and cut Rudolph off of the trademark. And of course, Rudolph is like, hold the fuck up. Okay, even though I'm not in the group anymore, I've still been here. He said that in 2018, he got a publishing deal for them. He said that in just with this 2023 Super Bowl that, you know, he helped get the song Shout on a commercial for the Super Bowl. So he has still been very active in the group, and he don't like the fact that his damn brother then got greedy and decided to, you know, ice him out and just say that he's the sole owner. So now they're about to, you know, he's suing him. He say he won't, he don't even know how much money, you know, Ronald Isley has made on the group since he decided to do this on his own. But whatever he got back then, he won't have that shit. He won't have going forward. He wants his name added back to the trademark, and he is suing to get that done. We hear about people doing this all the time, and I'm sure there's more, way more to the story that we don't know, you know, but damn, like, you just gonna do your brother like that and push him out and take all the, I mean, Isley Brothers have been Isley Brothers for 100 fucking years. They have got to be one of the oldest groups that's out there. Okay, that's still relevant today, I should add. But and this is no. Rudolph said, hell fuck no, bitch, you gonna pay me what you owe me. Yeah, they're going to court for it. Hopefully they could settle that before they have to go that far. But I don't know. Now, Ron Isley, he don't seem like he real nice when it comes to certain things. So I think that's going to be a fight on his hands. But I'm sure that brother can prove that he's been involved and, you know, he done got pushed out. But these things happen. New Edition, it took them a long time to get past that. I don't never know what came of that. You know, if BBD and I don't even think Bobby Brown cared, but I think it was Bell Biv and DeVoe that was having the problem with them being the sole owners of the whole fucking group when it's 5 of them, okay, or 6 if you add Bobby. So yeah, it's too bad, but you got to, that's why you got to always keep your legal team, you know, the bigger that name gets, you got to keep your legal team out there with their eyes open and making sure that people are not, you know, taking advantage or just pushing you out unfairly, you know. So yeah, but that's that on that. I said, damn, Ron, that's how you do your brother? All right, you guys, white folks news. Amanda Bynes. Now, Amanda Bynes came about when I was too old to really care about, like, all that and Good Burger and Nickelodeon and all that. Like, I didn't watch any of those shows or movies or anything, but I've heard the name, obviously, for many years. I knew that she was a child actor on Nickelodeon, excuse me. Back in 2010, she decided that she wanted to take a break from acting, said that she didn't enjoy doing it any longer. In 2013, she had a psychotic episode, a mental breakdown, was saying and doing a whole bunch of off-the-wall things, and her family stepped in. Her mother became the conservator over her finances, her life, basically. The same thing that happened with Britney Spears. 2021, I believe it was. 2022, they removed the mother from a conservatorship. So Amanda Bynes was now fully in charge of her finances and everything else that came along with her life. Okay. And we guessed that there weren't any problems up until recently. Amanda Bynes was seen walking the streets out there in LA naked, obviously mentally distraught. Something was happening here. People saw her. She was definitely having a psychotic break. Okay. She ended up flagging somebody down once she started to come down from that, and could tell that definitely something was wrong. She's outside, you know, what everything that was going on. There is actually even a viral video of a girl that saw Amanda and was just like, I saw my girl walking down the street. Now she's clothed in this part, but she's like, I saw my girl walking down the street, so I just had to make a video with her. And you can tell that Amanda is not okay even in that video. So but anyway, once she flagged somebody down, told them that she was coming down from the psychotic break, she actually called 911 herself. They ended up coming. They put her on a 5150 hold for however many hours. I think it's 72 hours usually. And all of that. Now the big question is whether or not her family is going to take conservatorship, and the family is saying no, they have no plans of trying to take over. Basically she's gonna have to get through this one on her own. Sad, you guys. I don't know. Those issues, now I've decided that I'm not going to speak on those anymore, because a part of me regrets. I felt like there needed to be something done with Britney Spears, and just the total control that was taken over her life when when her father had conservatorship. But it's clear that sometimes people can be their worst enemy, or they can be taken advantage of, or it's so many things that can happen when you have that kind of money, millions and millions and millions of dollars, and then you aren't mentally at 100%. People can come in and take the money. All kind of things can happen. And I think that we were so hell-bent on getting Britney's freedom that we didn't take into consideration that I did sort of, but I felt like there needed to be something done. I guess we didn't put too much into what the solution was going to be. Instead of just letting this girl be free and have all her access to everything like that. And now we see Britney Spears, and it's just, a law is I'm not going to say a lost cause. She's definitely living her life the way that she wants to, but I'm not sure if that's the best thing for her. And so now we've got Amanda Bynes, who probably doesn't have the type of money that Britney has, but yet and still has access to a lot of money and a lot of things. Now I'm not so sure whether I should be speaking on whether or not people should be taking care of themselves, and if we can really get a responsible person in there that can not take advantage but still guide this girl or these people that have these issues. Maybe that's the better way. But I'm not going to speak on whether or not I feel like people should have conservatorships anymore, because there are situations where it's necessary. When I like I said, I don't know much about Amanda Bynes. I've heard the name, I've seen her, but when you look at her, she looks like she needs the help. And so I'm concerned about how things are going to turn out for her. She was supposed to be at the 90s con, and they're about to have the All That reunion. They had a reunion. I think are about to reboot something. And Kenan and Kel were there, and they had expected her to be there, but of course she had this episode right before. I'm not sure if just anything Nickelodeon related is a trigger for her, but because we hear about Nickelodeon, the child stars and all the shit that they have been through and all that. So you wonder, like, really, is that the reason why a lot of these kids, Disney's kids, Nickelodeon kids, have all of these issues? Is just the pressure on their lives that great that it fucks them up in the future, But yeah, sad situation there. Hopefully she can get herself back on the good foot and, get herself mentally stable enough if she's able to take care of herself and her life, and, hopefully things go well for her. But yeah, that's the situation there. People wanted me to talk about Wendy Williams, and that's just a revolving, that's the same thing, different day. We see Wendy out, she's out drinking, she's out not looking her best. I think that's just something that we are going to see until she really truly is able to kick her drinking/drug addiction, or something else happens. But there's nothing else to report other than we just saw Wendy again out there when really we wish that we didn't. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Prayers up for everybody. Life is tough these days, you guys. Sometimes that's all you can do is pray for them. Hopefully things get better for Wendy, of course, and Amanda. Last story up, you guys. They say that Puffy Combs, mama named him Sean John Combs. They say that he and his family have been tapped for a reality show on Hulu. A la Kardashians. Now we've got Diddy Plus 7. That's the tentative name for the show. And the show is going to be much like Kardashians, just focusing on his family, his kids, all his baby mamas, and his you know, all of his kids, including this brand new baby, Love, who he calls his twin, okay? And, you know, talk about all the kids and even the businesses and the things that the kids have going on. It'll just be, it's very much like how the Kardashians are. A very rich family, a lot of kids out there doing their thing. The dad being like the patriarch of the family and, you know, all of that. Same like Kris and her kids. They already have started shooting, even though they haven't confirmed this either way. They've already started shooting. Seen them with the camera crew in LA and in Miami. So it's definitely, well, I won't say definitely, but we pretty sure that is going to happen. And yeah, if you were interested in seeing about Puffy's family life and his children and all of that, baby mamas and his mother and businesses and all that, it is coming up soon. Will you be watching? That is it. I have been out here a long ass time. Let me go on back in here. Okay, we do this every single week, so make sure that you thumbs up this video, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you come back. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.